President Obama's Barack Obama.
Barack Obama, first African-American president of the United States.
President Barack Obama gives me chills.
But it sure feels good, don't it? Yes, we can. One day after the presidential election, I rose in an excitement. My mind was in a daze. So after I settled it, I started thinking, hey, we're about to have a black man in the White House, y'all. I mean, many will say that it's been a long time coming, just like it was in May 28, 1916, when Jimmy Claxton became the first black man to pitch in the major leagues. Then, of course, making way for Jackie Robinson in 47. Well, Mr. Robinson, since the majors have never been the same. To think, they used the Louisville slugger, then slugged you in Louisville, Kentucky, Mississippi, all over Alabama, all over America. I mean, they used the bat to crack home runs, then they turned around to crack you up out your own home and run. Well, that's what he did, didn't he? I mean, he stepped up to the plate, cracked one over the gate, then he started running around third base. I mean, first he ran for the state. Now, he just walked his way straight to the White House. See, it's a new era. And in my house, pictures of Martin, Malcolm, and Marcus ordained stained walls where memories still live of who we are, why we are, and where we're coming from. You see, this victory doesn't take away 400 plus years of slavery. But yo, it sure feels good, don't it? I mean, people in the hood, they're still throwing up gang signs, yes we can signs, because for years we've been trying to figure out and looking for some sign that things will change. And man, they certainly have. See, Martin had a dream, and he said that he may not get there with us, but the promised land he has seen. Then he called Coretta and he said, Coretta, it sure looks good. But he also stated that we must not be satisfied so long as the Negro's basic mobility is from a lower ghetto to a higher one. See, the mind has been our ghetto since the boats left the streets of Soweto, the shores of Ghana, and the jungles of the Ivory Coast. We've coasted through hard times, clapped hands through bad times, all the while just waiting for our time, waiting to see when things will change. Well, according to my clock, times have changed. See, now it reads 40 acres and a mule, 1/2 whites-only restrooms, 1/4 the first black man on the moon, and today, as my clock, as it struck 12 o'clock noon, we now have a black man in the White House. But you see, things have changed. Well, my question becomes, will we? Because see, if oxymorons make morons blind to see the light, then morons should be less dense and made to be more on point. Because celebrating in clubs never got Obama to this point. Getting jiggy, doing the duck walk and the crip walk, that never allowed Martin to deliver his point. And my point is, we are now on that tipping point. I got a text the other day that read, Rosa sat so Martin could walk. Martin walked so Obama could run. Obama ran so our children could fly. But now that the Phoenix is in flight, that does not change the plight for you and I. There is still so much more work to do. And while this is not a black nor a white issue, my gray matter sees that gray matters because they are the ones that went through the hardships. They are the ones that went through the hardships for us, and we are now just on the cusp of this. This is a milestone. In the same way that in 1908, Jack Johnson became the first black heavyweight. In 1940, Hattie McDaniel, she received an Oscar for Gone with the Wind. And in that same year, Booker T saw his black face on a white stand. Ella Fitzgerald and Count Basie, they received Grammys in 1958, and in 67, Thurgood Marshall became the first black litigant. Andrew Young repped the U.S. for the UN in 77, and Colin Powell, he became the chief of state in '89, and then the SEC in 2001. Condoleezza Rice in 2005, she was parboiled. And now, that of course, and everything else, has led to the rise of Yes We Can in '09. See, the past is the potter that molds our future, but we must not look to the future to shape our now. And just because now there's a black man in the White House, that don't mean that he's going to pay your bills, he's going to watch your kids, nor is he going to wash a dish in yours. One day after the presidential election, I rose in an excitement. My mind was in a daze. And after I settled it, I started thinking, now that we got a black man in the White House in charge, the world will never be the same. And you know what they say, right? Once you go Barack, but it sure feels good, don't it? Yes, we can.